Nation. Michael Buckeye with the Man Hour. It is Tuesday edition, afternoon edition of Man Hour NFL Talk. It is Tuesday, so of course we got to overreact. It is Overreaction Tuesday. Kansas City Chiefs lose. 49ers lose. Jags lose. Colts lose. Texans lose. Eagles survive. Woo! But first. And now, Mike's thoughts. It has come to my attention that my comment section is toxic right now. The Man Hour NFL Facebook page comment section is toxic. Every other time I look at the old Man Hour page there, it says, and I quote, the NFL is rigged. The NFL is this, the NFL is that. Follow Vegas and you'll follow the wins, right? At some point, we just got to shut the hell up. At some point, we got to be like, hey, slow it down, baby. The NFL is not rigged. The NFL is not rigged. Let me say it for the people in the back one more time. The NFL is not rigged. It is not rigged because we have seen when people, referees, try to rig the games. It becomes very, very apparent. It becomes so apparent that said referee gets put in federal prison. Donahue or Donahue or whatever that guy's name was for the NBA. It becomes very, very apparent. Now, you could have some rogue referee, right? You could have that rogue referee and be like, hey, I don't like the Eagles. I'm going to call this extra holding on them or something like that. Like, okay. But the NFL is not rigged. I don't know how else to say it to you fools. Vegas does not determine the outcome of the NFL games. DraftKings does not determine the NFL of the games. The referees sometimes can determine the outcome, but they're not doing it out of spite or a paycheck or padding of the pockets. The point of the matter is, this is just an excuse at the end of the day. This is just an excuse for all you people out there be like, my team sucks, and I'm going to say the NFL is rigged. Shut up with that. Shut up with that. Cue the intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
You don't want to be every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that thing. While I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who's coming to the stage. Sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, to listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Starts like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're out the dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches, won't cut you short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzzer beaters. We coming live, all 3 speaks go.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckeye with the Man Hour, short of manhourradio.com. Check out the merchandise page or catch out the blog section as well. New merch, new blogs, new forums, new part of the website dropping each and every day over there. Every chance we get an opportunity, we are upgrading the website, and that's what I've been doing all day today, is updating the website while I was working on Man Hour stuff. I'm kidding. But guys, head over to manhourradio.com. Support our website all over there. Enjoy the blogs. We do put a lot of work into those blogs over there, and we try to cover each and every team out there. I have about 7 writers over there right now that are covering all aspects of the NFL game. But it is Tuesday, December 26th. I hope everybody had a very, very Merry Christmas. A great week. NFL 16 of the football ranks. And it is Tuesday. So we got to overreact on this Tuesday edition of Man Hour NFL Talk. We got to overreact to the 49ers getting beat down. That's right. Not even beat, but physically beat down by the San Francisco 49ers. Are they a first-round exit? First-round exit. Slow it down, baby. Jaguars, Colts, Texans lose. Does anybody want to win the AFC South? Apparently not. Somebody's got to. We got to overreact to that as well. The LA Rams are to the moon, baby. I see my man Jay in the chat. Watch out for those Rams, baby. Watch out for those Rams, Jay. And also, the Philadelphia Eagles. They're surviving. They're surviving, but you can only survive so long in this great NFL game. And the Buffalo Bills, are they really going to win the AFC East? Are they really going to make a Super Bowl run? Are they really going to have an MVP caliber quarterback? Who knows? Who knows? But that is all coming up on Overreaction Tuesday here of ManHourRadio.com. But guys, we have to welcome people into the chat. Here comes, we got my man Jay Jillian in the chat. NFC North champs, cheers. Cheers to you, Jay, as well. I'm wearing the blue simply for your Hawaiian Detroit Lions over there. I was actually going to wear my Adrian Hutchinson jerseys, but maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow on the Power Ranking Show, we'll bust out the old Adrian Hutchinson jersey and really celebrate the Detroit Lions NFC Championship, NFC North Championship. First one ever. Can you guys wrap your heads around that? The NFC North has been around since, 2002 or 2003? The Detroit Lions have never won the NFC North. 20-plus years of the NFC North, of the realignment, bada bing, bada boom, they finally win. Congratulations to you, Jay, and I believe that was your first division championship ever since 93 or 92, wasn't it? 30-plus years. Congratulations to the Detroit Lions and all those Detroit Lions fans that have gone through the gauntlet of the 0-16 seasons, that have gone through the gauntlet of being just quite not bad enough to get a first overall pick, right? And just not quite good enough to be them. But yeah, first one since 1993 and the first one ever for the NFC North. And congratulations to you. David is in the chat as well over there on the West Coast. He says, my Chargers may beat the Chiefs if they don't get a grip. Woo, slow it down, baby. Slow it down, David. Slow it down, man. But you are right, David. You are right. Ron Green's in the chat as well, saying congrats to Detroit. Yes, very much congratulations to the Detroit Lions right there. They definitely well deserved that win. It was a hard-fought win over the Vikings. I thought they were going to give it away there for like a little while. I'm like, better turn this game on full screen and tune it in. And then the Detroit Lions like, hey, we're done playing around. But David, this man wants to start firing shots right off the bat. Pew, 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 says David. David says the Kansas City Chiefs suck. My Kansas City Chiefs, right? David says the Chiefs better figure it out or they're going to get beat by the LA Chargers. And that's exactly what I want to talk about, this main topic of today. I want to talk about the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Kansas City Chiefs Monday afternoon, 1 o'clock here on the East Coast, 12 o'clock Central. Night, day, whenever it happened yesterday. Christmas Day, Las Vegas Raiders roll up to Arrowhead, smoking their stogies, doing victory laps around the stadium and said, hold my beer, Kansas City. We coming. We're not going to complete a pass, not just one quarter, just not 2 quarters, but for 3 straight quarters, we're not going to complete a pass, and we're still going to whoop those Katy asses. And on top of that, we are going to score not 1 touchdown, but 2 defensive touchdowns in less than 7 seconds. Hold my beer, Kansas City, because the Raiders came in there and whooped that ass. After watching that game, guys, as a Kansas City Chiefs fan, watching that game, I was utterly disgusted. I was so disgusted that I was like, I'd rather put together Christmas toys and watch this game right now. But I mustered through it. I had my queso. I had a Mountain Dew. I'm sitting there eating. I'm just rage eating, right? Just raging. I'm like, man, something's got to go right with the Kansas City Chiefs. So we have to ask the question here, guys. Are the Kansas City Chiefs broken? What is going on in Kansas City? Now, I do not want to take anything away from the Las Vegas Raiders. I do not want to take anything away from that victory from the Las Vegas Raiders. Ever since they hired their interim coach, Coach Pierce, right? They have been a different team. Their defense looks stout. Their offense looks much more improved. Hell, just the whole culture of the Las Vegas Raiders looks totally different. Do I dare say they almost had some swag about them? They had a little bit of swag about them, maybe? So don't get it twisted. I don't want to take anything away from the Las Vegas Raiders. I want to strictly talk about my Kansas City Chiefs. Are they broken? Are they broken? When I look at the Kansas City Chiefs, my space heater is melting something. I smell something burning my bed. When I look at the Kansas City Chiefs, they are fundamentally not sound at all. Yes, their defense is great. Their defense held the Raiders to 6 points, right? If it strictly was that with some stupid ass play with a fumble with Isaiah Pacheco handing the ball off to like Mahomes and fumbling, that's stupid. And then Mahomes throwing like his third interception in the game, the Kansas City Chiefs may have won that game. But I got to ask this question. Are the Chiefs broken, and where are they broken at? Right now, I actually just had this discussion with my boss just a couple hours ago over lunch. He said it as an outsider looking in. It's like, man, there is some type of inner fighting that has to be happening in Kansas City. Whether it's somebody sleeping with somebody's mom, somebody cheating on with somebody's girl, something is happening inside that locker room that is starting to spill over onto the playing field, right? There's a reason why Patrick Mahomes blew up the way he blew up versus the Buffalo Bills. It wasn't because he was upset with the call. Yes, he was upset that Tooney lined up like offsides, but he knows deep down that was the correct call. He knows deep down Tooney was offsides. He knows deep down that did cost him the game. But that little thing finally boiled something over. Ironically, Tooney wasn't active this week with a hip injury, right? Guys, let me legitimately ask you this question. What do you guys think is going on inside the Kansas City Chiefs offensive locker room? I think the defense is fine. As long as Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs do not throw interceptions and fumble and try to be cute on the offense, the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win a playoff game, if not two. That defense alone is going to keep them in the game. Question: what do you guys think is wrong with the Kansas City Chiefs offense right now? Jay says, ever since Taylor Swift has been around, it's been going downhill. Laugh my ass off. Ever since Taylor Swift has been kind of a spectacle, right? I mean, obviously added spotlight onto the team, added pressure onto the team. When you bring in more lights, more eyeballs onto said games, those drops that sometimes may have been overlooked, right? May have been overlooked. But when millions of more eyes are seeing those drops, it amplifies it, right? Makes that drop that much more. Hey, did you see Tooney drop that ball? Hey, did you see Travis Kelce drop that ball? Hey, did you see Rice drop that ball? A lot more people are talking about it. So I can see the Taylor Swift effect being an issue, right? I could definitely see that. Ron Green says wide receivers are sub mid. And Kelce is getting long in a tooth to be taken on double and triple teams. This is correct. I actually have this down. Do you guys remember back in the offseason, June, July, August, right? when D-Hop was a free agent and he was shopping himself out, right? And he said he wanted to play with the Super Bowl contending team. Ended up signing with the Tennessee Titans, but that's besides the point. They are eliminated from playoff competition, but the Kansas City Chiefs were rumored to be interested in D-Hop. They were rumored to go out there and get a veteran wide receiver. It never happened. It never flourished. The money wasn't right. The system wasn't right. Something wasn't right. Some marriage did not happen right. Then October, Halloween, trade deadline came. There were rumors of them going out and going to get a veteran wide receiver. Julio Jones was still on the market at that particular point. Peoples-Jones for the Cleveland Browns was on the market. Hunter Renfrow was on the market. They're like, no, we're good, we're set. I want to say almost ever since Halloween, the receivers have kind of been, hey, we're not going anywhere. We're still dropping the ball. We're not getting fired. Right? But Ron, I think you are right. The Travis Kelce effect, I think he's 35, 36 years old, right? In football, that's ancient. You guys realize that he has been in the league 12, 13 years, right? He has been in the league for a long time. He is ancient in football standards, and every season that we have is a blessing, right? David thinks, I think the loss of Bieniemy is more important than we thought. David, I think you nailed it right there. Because let's flash back to September, October. Washington Commanders were not doing very good, right? Eric Bieniemy is the new offensive coordinator for the Washington Commanders. People in Washington, players, owners, etc., saying, whoa, we did not realize this guy was this intense. We did not realize this guy held us to such a high standard. David, I think you nailed it right there on the spot. Eric Bieniemy. That is the missing piece. I don't think Matt Nagy and Andy Reid hold players to said standards. Do you think if Eric Bieniemy was on this staff right here, we would be seeing 40-plus drops, 3 drops a game? He would be holding them to a higher standard. He would be getting them better. He would be getting in the wide receiver coaches' asses. He would be getting in the players' asses. I think that Eric Bieniemy effect is probably spot on. I think that is the single biggest loss of the Kansas City Chiefs this season. Yes, Tyreek Hill a couple years ago did hurt. Might be showing his rear head now. Maybe. Loss of Juju. Now, he was not the number one receiver by any means last year. No stretch of the imagination. But he was a sure-handed go-to guy you could go to in the crunch. But, David, I think you are spot on. I think you're spot on, man. Eric Bieniemy. Jay says the Chiefs need some receivers. Need some receivers. This is what I think the Kansas City Chiefs need to do, Jay. If you get a chance, go back and watch a brief, second quarter versus the Raiders. Just watch 2 offensive series versus the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Buffalo Bills, versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Do you ever once see any of the secondary start to panic? When I say panic, I mean turning their hips and worrying about the deep threat whatsoever. You don't. You see the corners giving their receivers 7 to 12 yards cushion off the ball. They drop back to about 15, 20 yards, plant their foot, and they're coming upfield. Because they know damn well that Patrick Mahomes will not throw the ball over their head. They know damn well the line won't give Patrick Mahomes more than 3 seconds to throw the ball. They know damn well that even if the receivers do get wide open, they're probably going to drop it. They are daring you to go deep, and they're not doing it. I don't know. It is what it is. Jay says, I did see a clip saying, call the damn play. They aren't on the same page. I believe it was called the effing play, Jay. And that was a 4th down play call. I'm trying to get some context into that play, but I think it was like the 4th and 1, and they were struggling to get the right play call in. Yeah, it was very, very, very bad. So, yeah, guys, I don't want to take anything away from the Raiders at all. Raiders are looking good. Raiders looking much, much improved. Kansas City Chiefs. Let me ask you this question, guys. Before we move on to the overreactions and get to some of the YouTube comments, let me ask you this question. We are looking at the playoff picture right now in the AFC. Obviously, if the Kansas City Chiefs lose out and the Broncos or Raiders win and some other teams happens, the Chiefs can be out of the playoffs. I don't anticipate that happening. I anticipate the Kansas City Chiefs winning the AFC West still. I anticipate them beating the Bengals and or Chargers in the next 2 weeks. I anticipate the Broncos losing out and the Raiders losing out as well. So let's just take that into consideration. Let's consider the playoffs started today and the Kansas City Chiefs are the 3rd seed playing the Buffalo Bills in the AFC playoffs. Guys, are the Kansas City Chiefs the worst playoff team right now? Going into the 2023-2024 NFL playoffs, are the Kansas City Chiefs the worst team? When you look at it, there are teams out there that are better, obviously. Ravens, Bills, 49ers, Cowboys, Dolphins. But is there anybody worse? Take that into food for some thought. I'm going to post that question over here on the Facebook page later after the show, after this live is over. But guys, are the Kansas City Chiefs the worst team in the playoffs if they were to start today? We have XD Gamer in the chat. What is up, XD Gamer? Why does Trevor Lawrence get hurt every week? Trevor Lawrence gets hurt every week because he is refusing to let his body heal, XD Gamer. If you remember 3 weeks ago, we thought he broke his ankle. I was like, if that is just a sprained ankle, that's the worst sprained ankle I've ever seen in my life. He literally came back the very next week and played the Browns. They did lose. He did play, but you could tell he was a little hobbled. Sometimes, XD Gamer, coaches, training staff, players have to protect players from themselves. Peterson, the training staff, ownership, general manager should have sat Trevor Lawrence down and be like, look, we know you can play. We know you're good enough to play. But maybe, just maybe, you should sit out this week. Maybe, just maybe, you should worry about healing. Maybe, just maybe, let's get 100%. Need to think long term here, brother. And that's exactly what the Jacksonville Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence did not do. They were thinking, we need to win now. Basically, when Trevor Lawrence played against the Cleveland Browns, that told me one thing and one thing only. The Jacksonville Jaguars had zero faith in themselves to win more games down the road. They had zero faith in their backup. They had zero faith in their defense. They had zero faith in the rest of the offense to compete with the Browns, let alone beat the Browns. Basically, that tells you that Trevor Lawrence is the end-all, be-all in Jacksonville. If Trevor Lawrence does not play, they're like, hey, we're done. That's what it comes down to. How was my Christmas? Christmas was fantastic. My Christmas was amazing. Got to spend time with my mama, my wife, and my kids, my baby sister. My daddy stayed home, but they all came down from Kansas, had a grand old time, opened up some presents, and yeah. How was your guys' Christmas? Ant is in the chat. What's up, Ant? I saw your how about them Ravens earlier, man. We're getting ready to talk about those Ravens. He says Rashid Rice is their best receiver. And that is saying a lot without saying anything. On any other team, Rashid Rice is probably a 4th, 5th string guy. And when he's your number one guy, that is saying a lot without saying a lot. Let's just call it spade a spade. David said the only thing is Kelsey's age did not show before Taylor. Do you guys really think his age is really, quote, showing? What I think is showing is that before, the Kansas City Chiefs had a extra guy to rely on. Watch the games. Travis Kelce is getting doubled and triple teamed damn near every play. Damn near every play, he's getting doubled and triple teamed. There's not one receiver that is stepping up saying, hey, I am open. Give me the ball. Josh Gordon did that. Tyreek Hill did that. Juju did that. There's a reason why we brought MVS in. He was supposed to be that game changer. Go back to Green Bay, my man. Somebody's got to step up. But hey, Chiefs are going to be okay. They're going to be battle tested. Slow it down, baby. Buffalo Bills, come on into town. We'll take that rematch. We'll smack that ass, baby. Jay says, I'm glad the Lions are in the NFC because whoever is going to play Baltimore is in for a bad, bad day. That is exactly right, Jay. And that's what happened to the San Francisco 49ers. Baltimore Ravens came into Santa Clara and they got not one, not two. Wasn't three. No, it wasn't four. It was 5 defensive turnovers. They had 5 defensive turnovers versus San Francisco 49ers. Baltimore Ravens defense came in and said, who's your daddy? I'm your daddy because I did this to your mama and I did not pull out and I'm not going to pull out again. The Baltimore Ravens went into Santa Clara, California and whooped that ass. The 49ers ended up benching Brock Purdy. Let's just call a spade a spade. He was injured, right? Okay. No, he sucked. He sucked that bad that he got benched for Sam Darnold. That's how bad Brock Purdy sucked last night. Mr. MVP candidate himself, he sucked that bad he got benched for Sam Darnold. Whoa. What was it? 4 interceptions in the first half or something crazy like that? It was for sure 3. I was getting ready for bed. I could have saw a 4th one. I don't know. But let me ask you guys this question. On this overreaction Tuesday, are the 49ers in panic mode after this beatdown that they received from the Baltimore Ravens? Guys, 100% the San Francisco 49ers should be in panic mode. They should be in panic mode 157%. The reason is because this. What happened when the San Francisco 49ers went on the 3-game skid? Injuries, right? Trent Williams went down. CMC was out. Brock Purdy was injured, right? Debo actually missed a game, right? Guess what happened last night? Trent Williams went down. Brock Purdy is injured, air quote. Injuries are piling up. I said it last week. The San Francisco 49ers are an injury away from being a shit-ass team. What happened last night? Injuries. Shit-ass team. Now, there is a bright spot. There's a silver lining to all of this, right? They did give the Baltimore Ravens short field to play with time after time again. They did give the Baltimore Ravens the ball 5 times. And they still only lost by 2 scores. A little bit of a silver lining, right? A little bit of like, hey, our offense literally shit the bed, but yet our defense still kind of held its own versus MVP Lamar Jackson. Put some respect on his name. I've been dogging that man for many, many years. Lamar Jackson is the MVP of the league this season. Put some name on it, right? So, guys, is it an overreaction that the San Francisco 49ers could be a one and done in the NFC playoffs? When I think about this, when I was first proposed this question, I'm like, there is no way. They should, in theory, get the number 1 seed in the NFC, right? They should. But what if they don't, right? What if they don't get that number 1 seed? Let's say they drop down to a number 2 seed. Very, very real possibility. They could lose to the Rams. They could lose to the Commanders. They lose one of those 2 games. Philadelphia Eagles win out. Bada bing, bada boom. You are the 2nd seed, right? I also said this last week. It would not surprise me one bit if they lose to the Rams week 18 and turn around and play the Rams again the following week and lose to them again. So, guys, it is not an overreaction. That's right. It is not an overreaction that the San Francisco 49ers could be a one and done in the playoffs. If the San Francisco 49ers do not get that first round bye, which is the number 1 overall seed, and the Philadelphia Eagles end up with it, they're going to have to play a team like the Cowboys or the Rams. 2 teams they really don't want to play right now. The Rams are cooking. The Cowboys are out for revenge. Would not surprise me one bit if they're a one and done. Matter of fact, I'm going to say here right now, if the San Francisco 49ers do not get the first overall seed in the NFC, they will be a one and done in the playoffs. David thinks it's funny. And then Dennis Ferris says, shut up, clown. Why, Dennis? Why do I need a quote, shut up, clown? Because you don't agree? Because you do not think that the 49ers were exposed last night? You do not think that the injuries that the 49ers sustained last night are not going to result in 3-game skid again? If Trent Williams is out for a game or 2, they're going to lose that game. I believe, can't remember exactly who said it in one of our game threads last night, but basically they said the Baltimore Ravens have laid out the blueprint to beat the 49ers. And that is true. They have laid out the blueprint for you to beat the San Francisco 49ers at home. San Francisco 49ers will play a home playoff game. Don't get it twisted. They will play a home playoff game, but the blueprint is out there. Put pressure on Brock Purdy, let him make mistakes. Because Brock Purdy is nothing but a game manager. It is what it is. Game manager is not a bad term. Tom Brady was a game manager. Alex Smith was a game manager. Not a bad term. But when you are put in a position to win the game, Brock Purdy won't be able to do it. Sorry, all you 49ers fans. Sorry, all you Brock Purdy MVP this crap. He is not a game winner. He is a game manager. Saw it last night. You get behind. You have to start throwing the ball around. Start throwing the rock around. The running game's kind of non-existent. Bada bing, bada boom. He's a below average quarterback. Butthole puckers, piss runs down the leg. So, Dennis, please tell me to shut up again. Because I would love to have you on the phone lines, Dennis. I will open up the phone lines just for you this afternoon. After we're done with this overreaction, I would love to talk to you on the phone, Dennis. You talk so tough behind that keyboard, talk tough on the phone. Shut up about what? Braden Webb is in the chat. What's up, Braden? He says, so after this week's, Purdy isn't MVP. Lamar doesn't have MVP numbers, and they probably won't give an MVP to a non-quarterback. Who do you think is winning the MVP at this point? That's actually on my buy or sell. But I am going to give it to you. I am going to jump forward in this MVP talk. First of all, Lamar Jackson, I don't care about MVP numbers whatsoever. Like, what are MVP numbers, right? Kirk Cousins put MVP numbers up each and every year. He has never won an MVP. So what is this term, MVP numbers? MVP is the most valuable player for your team. Lamar Jackson is the most valuable player for said team. Christian McCaffrey is the most valuable player for his team, right? So who do I think the MVP is? I think Lamar Jackson is the front runner of the MVP. However, if Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills do make the playoffs, I don't think you can overlook Josh Allen. That turnaround that has happened in Buffalo is something that is awing, right? There are people commenting on a clip from early in early in November, right when they fired Ken Dorsey. Me and Hoffy and many people in the chat agreed that, you know what? The Buffalo Bills just don't got it this season. And I said it. I said it would not surprise me one bit if they finished third in the AFC East. If not fourth. At that particular time, the Patriots still had a chance to jump up above them. The Buffalo Bills, let's just be honest, guys, they were playing shit. In the following weeks, they were playing the Chiefs, they were playing the Eagles, they were playing the Patriots, and they were playing the Miami Dolphins, right? I was like, they're done. Brady, I forgot his first name. But Brady, the offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills, has definitely put that swag back into Josh Allen. Has put that swag back into Buffalo. I think if the Buffalo Bills come back and make the playoffs, hell, if they win the East, you have to give the MVP to Josh Allen because he's doing it without Stephon Diggs, right? Yes, Stephon Diggs is still on the field, but he hasn't had a 100-yard game, a 100-yard receiving game for like 6 or 7 weeks. Ever since the new offensive coordinator has come into town, Stephon Diggs has kind of been a shell of himself. But my front runners for MVP right now are Lamar Jackson at number 1, CMC number 2, number 3 Josh Allen, and then number 4 would be Dak Prescott. That is who the MVP frontrunners are as far as I am concerned right now. Ant says, we bullied their asses, as in the Ravens bowled the 49ers asses last night. Everyone betted against us, but we came up supreme, baby. Purdy got exposed to and tapped out. Ant, you are exactly right. I believe our game thread had about 50,000 interactions or 50,000 votes on who would win the game, and probably 40,000 of them were toward the San Francisco 49ers. I had the 49ers winning. Hoffy had the 49ers winning. I think John had the Ravens winning, which was a surprise to me. But I thought Monday night game, cross-country travel, Christmas, Ravens spirits might be a little down. Like, I was thinking all the outside factors, but the Baltimore Ravens guys, they blocked those out. They're like, I don't care if it's Christmas. I don't care if it's New Year's. I don't care if it's my mama's birthday. We're going to go in there and we're going to wax that ass. The Baltimore Ravens guys showed up last night. Showed up and showed out. Got to give a dog its bone, right? Ravens are dogs. David said, you're spot on, Buck, about the 49ers. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Jay says, Goff has better numbers than Lamar. If Goff goes into Dallas and leads the Lions to victory and the Lions went out, end up 13-4, does he get a mention? I mean, I think you have to, right? As far as the MVP, Jay. Like, I feel like Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff, and when Matthew Stafford was in Detroit, consistently got overlooked as far as MVP. And I don't know why. Is it because of the, quote, small markets, right? I mean, granted, I know Detroit is a large city, but as far as their sports media market, the Lions have been bad for so long that the media doesn't really follow the Lions as close as they should, right? So, but I feel like you would definitely have to put Jared Goff up in their consideration. 13-4 for the Detroit Lions, and then going into Dallas where they have beat down team after team after team. Yes, I know below 500, right? But they still beat teams by 40-plus points at home time after time again. And the Lions go in there and beat Dallas. I think you have to put Jared Goff up there. Do I think he would like win it? Probably not. But you have to put him in conversation. Jim says, had some man shit to do, a.k.a. go to the library and read some books. Did I miss something? Yeah, Jim, you did miss something. You seen Dennis Ferris Jr. tell me to shut up, clown. And then he runs away like a scared little pony and doesn't return. Tim McWall says, on the flip side of that, if Dak whoops the Lions this week, he'll surely have to get the wins and the stats to get MVP, right? It seems like every week the MVP frontrunner changes, right? Before Dak Prescott went into Buffalo, he was the front runner. Got that ass waxed. No longer even in the top 5 in every category that I've read in, right? Brock Purdy, next week, front runner. Baltimore Ravens come into town, wax that ass. No longer Brock Purdy front runner. He's like plus 1,400 now. Now Lamar Jackson front runner. What? How about this? What if the Miami Dolphins and Tua wax that Baltimore ass? Does Tua become front runner? Like, guys, this is the title of today's show. So confusing. Like, this NFL season is legitimately so freaking confusing. Like, I don't understand what to do anymore. Every time you think you have a person pegged, a team pegged, they go and lay an egg. They go get a dub, right? Pittsburgh Steelers a couple weeks ago, I was like, oh man, surely they're going to make the playoffs. Surely they're 7-4. You know, Kenny Pickett's down, but hey, they got Mitchell T up there, right? Okay. Lose. Put in Mason Rudolph. Oh, Mason Rudolph, half ahead himself, win. What? MVP. Oh, it's got to be Dak. It's got to be Purdy. Got to be Tua. Right? Are we overlooking the obvious? CMC, Tyreek Hill, Myles Garrett. Can we look non-quarterback for once? Truly most valuable player for said team. Tyreek Hill has to be it. I don't know. It is what it is. Ant says Allen would have to at least make it to the AFC Championship to win the MVP. As of right now, it's clearly Lamar Jackson. The only issue with that, Ant, is a MVP is a regular season award, right? It is voted on from week 18 to week 19. That week, the week before the playoffs, that is when it is voted on. So, granted, it is not announced till Pro Bowl time, right? Actually, I think it might be announced like second week of the playoffs. So, Josh Allen's postseason play doesn't matter. Lamar Jackson's postseason play doesn't matter. It's all what you do in the next 3 weeks, or next 2 weeks. Let's just be honest. Tim says otherwise. I would say Lamar or CMC. Lot of duplicate comics today. Tim says, Jay, my man, no one beats Dallas in Dallas. No one. So it won't happen. And then Ant says, Ravens bust that Lions ass already, Jay. Where you at, baby? Jim says, is Taylor Swift writing that song named Travesty yet? No. Actually, I heard they were engaged. I'm kidding. Tim says, Rams and Seahawks are now above 500. That below 500 crap doesn't hold water anymore. Well, I believe when you play a sub 500 team or above 500 team, it is at the time of the game playing, right? So at the time when the Cowboys played the Rams were not a very good team. Matthew Stafford was still coming off the injury. Cooper Kupp was out. Their running back was still coming back from his knee injury. But on the flip side of that, the Seahawks were a 500 team at the time they played, and the Eagles were above 500 team. So yeah, I get that. Braden says this thing is playoffs don't really factor into playoffs, right? There you go. Exactly what I just said there. And Jim says Dallas is completely suspect. Home field means nothing to them anymore. Cowboys going to be a dangerous team in the playoffs, Jim. You give the Cowboys some turf and some dry weather. Bada bing, bada boom. Super Bowl, baby. Last guy to win that wasn't a quarterback, was a back, right? Lamar Jackson was technically a running back, I guess. I don't know. And then Rams are the dark horse in the NFC to go to the Super Bowl. And that's exactly what I want to talk to you about next, Ant. That's the next thing that I have up right now. LA Rams, guys, are currently 6th. That's right, 6th place in the NFC playoff picture. The Rams do play the San Francisco 49ers come week 18, and then they do play the drum roll, please. I believe, yes, it is the New York Giants at New York this New Year's Eve. So two games they should win, right? When I say you should beat the San Francisco 49ers, I feel the San Francisco 49ers probably won't be playing too much at that particular point. So they're going to be resting injured, air quote, Brock Purdy and Trent Williams and Debo, right? So it would not surprise me one bit if the Rams do beat the Giants and the 49ers, solidifying their chance into the NFC playoff picture. Now, if the playoffs were to start today, that's right, today, the Rams would be playing the number 3 seed Detroit Lions. Matthew Stafford would be going home to take on his former team and Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions. Now, if you guys believe in storybook endings, storybook rides, whatever, right? What better way for the LA Rams to basically be wrote off earlier this season with their 1-5, right? They were a very, very bad team. They were a team that were like, oh, they're tanking for Caleb Williams at this point, right? Turn it around. What storybook ending would it be for Matthew Stafford to take the team that he was traded from to take that team into Old Team Stadium, whoop that ass, go into a division rival team, San Francisco 49ers, whoop that ass, and then beat the Dallas Cowboys the following week and whoop that ass and go to the Super Bowl? Guys, it is not an overreaction that Super Bowl might go through LA. It's not an overreaction that I think the LA Rams are the Super Bowl dark horse, just like Ant said. It is not an overreaction. It is not a reach. We just going to sit back and sit on our little floaty noodle thing and read on our tablet and our suit and tie. I'm not for sure why I got that image, but it is what it is, right? It would not surprise me one bit. So, guys, in the comments below, let me know. Do you think that the Rams are a Super Bowl dark horse? Not only a playoff dark horse, not only a playoff win dark horse, NFC Championship dark horse, but a Super Bowl dark horse. Would it be surprising? Ant doesn't think so. And I think you are spot on. I think the NFC truly is wide open. Yes, the Eagles will be there. Yes, the Cowboys will be there. The 49ers, Eagles, or the Cowboys, right? 4 teams that are already in there, right? The NFC South is still can be decided, right? You have a couple wild card spots that need to be decided too. But the NFC truly is wide open. I think the blueprint to beat each and every team is out there, right? The only team that we have not really seen, quote, get a beat down in these last 6, 7, 8 weeks are the LA Rams. Yes, the Rams did beat the LA Rams. Sorry, the Ravens did beat the LA Rams a couple weeks ago. I believe that was a Monday night game, right? 37-31. Hell of a game. I thought the Ravens were like, man, little suspect, right? May have been wrong on that one. But nobody has really laid the blueprint how to beat the Rams. And I'm not sure if they have a blueprint. They got a good defense, got a good offense, got a lot of good weapons. Watch out. Braden says with how well Stafford has been playing, it is a stretch for him to get some consideration for MVP. Yes. I think it is a stretch for Matthew Stafford to be considered a MVP. Not because of what he's been doing, not because of his numbers, not because of the win-loss record, right? It is sometimes, right? It is you are a victim of your own success. Sometimes you are a victim of your own success. We expect Matthew Stafford to be like this, right? We expect Patrick Mahomes to throw for 5,000 yards. When he doesn't, when he has an off year, What was the first segment of the show? Casey's broken. Patrick Mahomes is still a top 10 quarterback in this league, but we're saying, man, this guy sucks right now. What is going on, right? You are a victim of your own success. And I think that's why Matthew Stafford will not get consideration for MVP no matter what he does these next 2 weeks. Got Katie Wilson in the chat. What's up, Katie? Long time no see. And then Jay says there's two sides to every story. Goff has a side to that story where he can show out against his former team who cast him away. Lions overcoming their former QB. Two sides, bro. You are exactly right, Jay. You are exactly right. How about this? I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say if the Rams and the Lions play in the first round, right? Let's say is that 3 versus 6, or somehow the Lions get up into a 2 seed and the Rams are a 7 seed, right? Whatever. Let's say they play in the first round at Ford Field. I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say the winner of said game will be in the NFC Championship game. Now, will they go to the Super Bowl? I can't tell you that. But I think whoever wins the Lions-Rams game, if they play in the first round, will go to the NFC Championship game, because I do like the two sides of every story, Jay. You are exactly right. You are spot on with that. Jim says, give it to the Raiders defense and be done with it. Best in the league the last 2 weeks. I didn't check number, but really, they don't really mean nothing, right? Jim already gave the Raiders their credit, gave it their dues, or whatever you want to say. But congratulations on the win. I am not on the Sherman Mitten. I'm not going to jump off. The water's way too cold. I definitely don't know how to swim. So it would be immediate suicide. Like, I'm going to a water park tomorrow, and I'm going to be wearing arm floaties because I legit can't swim. Ant says, Rams have been on a hot streak too. All they got to do is beef up the secondary next year. Rams will be relevant for the next 3 to 5 years. That rookie wide receiver Puka is the real deal. I think looking beyond this week, looking beyond this season, right? I really truly feel this is Matthew Stafford's kind of last hoorah, Ant. I think that this is Matthew Stafford's last give it one good go, right? Because if I remember correctly, his wife's cancer is back. She has some type of brain cancer. I'm not exactly sure, but my wife follows her on Instagram, and she's like, oh, did you hear that Matthew Stafford's wife's cancer's back? And I know as a person that has had family members with cancer, it takes a lot out of you, right? My mother-in-law battled cancer for 3 or 4 years, right? It was tough on everybody. So I couldn't imagine being a spouse of somebody that has cancer with young kids, right? So I think Matthew Stafford can still play at a very, very high level. I think that he could lead to the Rams to a lot of wins, but I think the off-the-field stuff, mental aspect of it is going to wear on him, and I think he is going to hang it up, unfortunately. Like I said many, many times, most players do not retire because they're not good enough to play in the NFL. They retire because they don't want to mentally prep for the game moving forward, right? Tom Brady probably still could have played at a very, very high level this season. He did not want to mentally prepare for the games moving forward, right? That's just the way it is. David says, I don't think the Rams are a Super Bowl dark horse. They will be a one and done in the playoffs. Buck, I live 50 miles from SoFi. Ooh. It would not be a stretch if the Rams are a one and done, right? There is a such thing as getting hot too early, right? There is such thing as, clicking on all cylinders too early. Maybe they did it. Since Thanksgiving, right? They've been clicking on all cylinders. You would have to be playing at top performance for 3 months to win the Super Bowl. That is why I think the Chiefs are still my favorites. Braden says, Rams-Bills Super Bowl would be awesome. My man Jeff says, any update on Stroud? Last thing I heard was he was still in concussion protocol. Usually on Tuesdays, a lot of things don't happen in the NFL. Wednesdays are the main practice days of the NFL, so we should hear something tomorrow afternoon. So stay tuned, Jeff, to the Man Hour YouTube page. If we hear any news, we will write a blog about it and get the information out for you ASAP. Jim says Rams are playing way above their heads right now. They spent all the money the year they won and even thought they looked good now. So does Cleveland and their white stains. Okay. Jay says scriptwriters are working overtime. A Goff versus Stafford playoff game. Rams versus Lions is must-see TV. That game will be on Peacock, 100%. So Peacock will have one playoff game, right? That will be the game that's on Peacock, so nobody gets to see it. Unless you want to pay the $9.99. Yes, I know there's codes out there to get it for $1.99, but it's the principle. Damn it, it's the principle. It's the principle of the matter that I don't want to buy another freaking streaming service and forget to cancel it. Katie says, what do we have to do to get Kelsey to catch the ball? Throw it to him. Throw hit to him more than twice in a game? I don't know. It is what it is. But guys, that hour is up. I wanted to talk about the Eagles. I wanted to talk about the Bills. Talk about the Jaguars, Colts, and Texans. We'll talk about it all tomorrow. Talk about that tomorrow, 3 p.m. East Coast time, guys. We're back here live, raw, and uncut with the NFL Power Rankings show. There's got to be some shakeups up at the top. I had Ravens at number 1. Do they stay at number 1? Damn right they are. Smack that ass. 49ers drop. Cowboys drop. Dolphins going up. Chiefs out of the top 10. What? I don't know, guys. Stay tuned tomorrow. We'll be here live, raw, and uncut. But Brayden says, who do you think ends up in the number 1 seed in the AFC? Ravens are ahead of the Dolphins, but they play this week. Does that game decide the number 1 seed? It does decide the number 1 seed, Brayden. If the Ravens win that game versus the Miami Dolphins, they are the number 1 seed. If they lose, they still have a very good opportunity, but I think it will end up being the Ravens in the end. I do think the Ravens will get the number 1 overall seed, and ultimately, I think it will hurt them. It will hurt their mojo, hurt their rhythm, make them a 1 playoff out of ice. Os amigos. They'll be playing the Browns. They don't want those Browns, baby. See you guys tomorrow, same time, same place, 3 p.m. East Coast time. Man Hour Nation, rise up.